NBA 2K26 has tons of crazy things going on with the builder, and today we're going to help you prepare for that with some really good information about these max plus ones and plus twos and the cap breakers and the way this is going to work with your build, the things you got to keep in mind, and then also getting you the exact values for these. This is going to help you experiment and get the right proper build. Been really labbing up on this one, and this is exciting because I think this is going to change the game drastically once you understand where I'm going with it. So before I do, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and comment if you rocking with me and want more. You know what to do. Besides that, let's do it. So first things first, there's a specializations where you can get cap breakers and max plus ones and twos, right? That you're looking at it right now. This is just quest. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I have full guides breaking it down. We also talked about cap breakers. You're basically able to extend your character's abilities right here. As you can see, my attributes, it's basically can get raised with these extras and you can earn them in a lot of different ways. And so it's going to be an interesting year to see how powerful you can make your build. Right? These are simple things that add to the game and add value to your playstyle. Right? There's plenty of conversations about what we're going to get into right now. But the first thing I want to do is just take you through the process of how I got here and the game plan of what I want to do. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to end up with tons and tons of cap breaker possibilities. All right. You're looking at the screen. We're not going to go through all of it. It's going to hurt your brain. I promise you. Normally, you only get one for everything. But this year, if you have a low rating or something like that, it'll boost it up. The math isn't really fully explained just yet, but basically 15 points. So that's going to go up 40 just from lifting this up one. So this is worth always upgrading with cap breakers, in my opinion. But we're going to try to show you the values of each of these as we go forward, the best values on how this works. Okay. But not only this, also the main thing that you want to think about too is the actual max plus one. That's going to be the goal. These right here are the best thing in the game to take you to the next level and basically prep you for the future. As you can see right here, you can bring up your badges 1 or 2 levels for each. You're going to have multiple chances to do this year. So that's why I'm telling you it's going to be valuable. All right, so let's do it real quick and we're going to go through the list. I went and did the math, but also kind of thought about this from different positions. It's going to be different for everybody. We'll start off with the guard because that is the most popular, important position to be able to control the ball. So we'll start off with playmaking. Here's the thing, right? We're going to have to test this thoroughly. But imagine if I had an 86 on gold lightning launcher and I use my max plus 2 to get it to legend. All of a sudden, I'm still capable of doing amazing things and I don't need to waste any points on this. I drop that all the way down to here, I basically have way more attributes. Now, dribble handles actually locks you out of specific animations. And the Steve Francis was a 95 last year. I'm assuming it's going to be the same this year. Do you want to sacrifice and go up that high? Maybe use a cap breaker. This is where the cap breakers can come invaluable. But maybe it's just worth using your points in here and then switching this to the badge only. So the conversation is, what is badge worthy versus what is cap breaker worthy? Meaning I can easily just use cap breakers to get to 95. So maybe I'll just drop this down 5 points, save myself points there. And then for my badges, I'm going to save all my points here and end up with a lot more for the build. Okay. Then I can start putting it on other things. Passing. Passing is a tricky conversation. You don't need a lot of pass if you're a smart passer, but if you want to be a high level skilled player and be able to have some help from the game, these badges do help. And there's certain animations, for example, 89, Tyrese Halliburton's one of the best passing styles, can do that right there. So that's playmaking in a nutshell. And these are the conversation starters of the best value. Will an 86 get you the right animations on dribbles? For example, get a decent amount and you can be 6'7" and do this. But I'm not going to be able to get everything I need as far as unpluckable on legend. Let's just say I wanted it. I could go to 92 and then use those max plus twos to get that up because I don't need to worry about the animations. This is a critical conversation and it's about animations and reaching the badge threshold. Plus, do these affect? Does the rating feel better mechanically when I play if I have it up pretty high? Okay. So if I wouldn't have had this attribute up and I got it to legend, is it better? Most likely, yes. But that's the things we got to thoroughly test. And that's why I'm doing this like concept of knowing what to value, how to make your build in the near future. And then if we go down the list and we do the same thing for shooting in the same category, okay, maybe you this year you can have a low 3. Personally, all I really need is limitless on silver. You know, an 89 gives me limitless on silver, and I can use max plus 2 to put it on Hall of Fame. Sparking from pretty far, and you can go wild with that. Okay. Then on top of it, a 93 is all I need. I don't want to use my cap breakers here. Feel like I can do some fun stuff with the builds. I prefer to have this somewhere else. Now, all of a sudden, I use my max plus 2 on set size specialist and limitless, right? Now I'm a deadly shooter without going too high and using all my cap breakers. I can use my cap breakers on my handles. This is where I am thinking of master planning builds, being able to be dynamic in that way where like, okay, my max plus ones are going to go for my shooting and my ball handle is going to go with cap breakers. I'm going to max it out and I'll have a really good playmaking shot creator. You guys know what that is. So we got the play shots. Okay. That's what they call them. So we can do those type of builds in this scenario and we'll be good to go. And that's just a start of how you can do things. I want to dive into just a little bit bigger. And we're going to maybe just do a big man. Let's just go with a 7-footer and just talk about this very quickly. Not going to go too crazy with this. Again, guys, if you really want a build guide, you know, I have a bunch of breakdowns for the builds. But I just wanted to do like rebounds and blocks. Talk about this as well, because the animation threshold is what matters, right? When you go for steals and you go for blocks, we'll talk about steals in a second, but for the rebounds as well. I personally do well on Hall of Fame when I'm paying casuals. But against some of these top players, you want to have legend max. Same thing with strength. Hey, waste your time not having this maxed out as a center, right? This is the key thing. It's like, hey, I want to have these two things, box out beast and rebound chaser. But do you really want to spend cap breakers or your max plus ones? Those are the conversations. Let's just say I drop this down to 95 and I use my max plus ones to get this all the way to legend, but I did pump up my strength because I wanted to kind of capitalize as best as possible. Okay, problem is I'm not going to be able to get rebound chaser, I'm sorry, max the box out beast, the legend, because you need a 98. So I personally will use my cap breakers on my center for the rebounds and I will get it to 99. It just makes sense. But guess what? I don't have to do that for the strength. Maybe I just go with a 96 or less. 96 is a lot, but that would be the highest threshold I'll go. If I was trying to be the most dominant rebounder, those are the two things that you want to look up. Plus your vertical, by the way. You want to have your vertical very high. It helps at least an 80, in my opinion, for a center. 78, 80, about there to get a good amount. But those are the questions for the center. Same thing with the blocking. When you go to block, you want to have the right threshold here as well. Are you going to pull out, you know, high interior and max it out so you can get that, or you're going to keep it low at an 89 is very reasonable. You know, some of the other things that don't have nothing to do with it, drop down and start working on to make my build viable as possible. As you can see right here, interior maxed out. Guess what? I need more vertical. Go. So this is the kind of thing where you're going to play with this and then start making the kind of build you want. And these three factors are big deals. Cap breakers, the max plus ones, those two, and then how you decide to utilize them within this build is going to be critical. Okay, that's key. And then I want to start getting into kind of like the wing play. Let's just do a 6-6 lockdown, or it's just random here. We're not really caring about these builds, by the way. It's just showcasing some elements. So as we know, you want at least a 91, right, to be a decent. If you're just making a regular guard on gold on 2K25, fine, that's great. But it isn't enough, right? Let's just say, like, I want to be a pure lockdown. Do you really need the actual levels, or can you just use your max plus 2 to get this to legend? Right? So if I want to put it on 94 and then I got my cap breakers to go all the way up, I just wasted cap breakers, something that I didn't need the attributes up that high. I just wanted the possible animation, most likely. If I can go up to 98, I'm going to get interceptor. Do I want to use my cap breakers or not? Me personally, if I'm a lockdown, I'm probably going to do that. And then I do want my perimeter high. I feel like it's more than just animations for the perimeter, but for steals, you just want the animations, in my opinion, if I had to make a choice. Again, we got to test this thoroughly for next year, but you see right here, challenger on Hall of Fame, another one with, am I going with cap breakers or max plus ones? Remember, I have multiple cap breakers and max plus ones this year. It's going to be way more. So you're going to see the game be crazy if you know how to play this properly, right? Things in here that's just going to be dynamic. Again, my agility, I want it very high. I'll be able to reach the right threshold, dominate where I can, control the pace of the game. Just say picks them as high as possible. So these are the things that you got to think about. In my personal opinion, don't waste. There's going to come a point. We're going to test this. I can't tell you today because the game's not out. But if you're watching this when the game released, I'm going to have a guide after I do the test. There's a bunch of great actual testers. 2K Labs is the greatest. Right? We know that. But other people testing it as well is very important. So wait until we can do the numbers, and maybe I'm going with a 91 and then using my 2 max plus for my lockdown build. Max plus 2 right here. And basically I'm going to have a pure lockdown. I use my cap breakers on this, 5, only 5, which I can get pretty fast in the first month of the game. And then we'll be locked in for a pure 99, basically almost, without having to waste those points. And then I can go crazy putting it on something else, maybe blocks for my lockdown. This isn't the right setup for my lockdown, but just showcasing just an idea of the concept. So this is where you can make a crazy build. Okay. And the next thing you know, that I want to put my speed up to a 94 now, since I have not wasted all my attributes here. I'm going to have a very high speed, agility, or strength. And all of a sudden I'm a pain. Everybody's annoyed by the way I play because I'm just crushing the point guards. I have faster speed than them. I have more, lockdown abilities because I didn't just waste it away. Okay. Last but not least, I'll kind of make a little shorter build and get into this conversation about driving dunks. Again, we're not going to go too deep into these guys. This isn't a big deal, just not a real build. But the concept for me here is pretty simple. Last year, I was rocking a 89 for the most part on a lot of my builds. I had a good time with this. I was dominating with it. If you go watch some of my highlight reels, you'll say, wow, man, you was cooking. It wasn't because I'm the best player. I just practiced with the contact dunk. Right? We did okay. But it isn't enough. But I had a 94 on one of my builds, or 96 or something like that. I was going even more crazier. Okay. And Will I want to waste all these points on my cap breakers? No. Yeah, I just want to stay on gold, or I can go lower, go to right here. Next thing you know, I use and I get it to Hall of Fame. All I really needed is the contact dunks, which I unlock at an 89. And then I can get this to Hall of Fame posterizer. Okay. That's what I'm trying to explain. And I'm hoping it's making sense. The best values really are going to be determined by you and what you're looking for. Each play style is different. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't care about none of it. I just want to unlock a specific animation at an 88 for layups and then just do only layups. Let me lower my dunks. I don't care about dunks. So then 88, and then all I want to do is I need physical finisher strength, for example. Put that all the way up pretty quickly. Got my setup here. And now, nope, we're doing what we got to do here. And then I can boost this all the way up. And that's the difference to get it to Hall of Fame just from doing that. And if I really was getting crazy, my layup mix masters, crazy finisher. I love finisher, by the way. But these two will be great. It's like I just want to get my animation with the actual attribute. And then I can use the max plus 2 to buff up that play style. And that is the method I'm going to be using. The only problem is, as I said, you have to test this thoroughly. You can't just go in and say, I'm just going to pick whatever. I'm going to choose it. No, you can't just choose it. You have to say, okay, this is what I want. Now, got the animation. I got that. Is this the best badge level? Let me go and test it for whatever it is that I'm doing. Defense, offense, all of that. And then from there, you can decide. I'm not going to use my cap breakers. It's a waste to level this up just to get a specific batch when I can just do it with my max plus 2s. And that's where this game has changed forever. Now that max plus 1s exist and plus 2s exist, this game has changed drastically. I'm talking about forever. And now you can make builds where your attributes are low. As long as you get the badge you wanted and the animation you want, should be fine. That's just the truth. And so it's going to be a fun year to test all this, go through the full picture of what I just explained. There's no wrong answers right now. But as we go and test this, hopefully somebody will ask 2K Labs, hey, Mag Gamer, aka Coach M, explain about the builder. Now I fully understand what I have to look for. Can you guys do tests as well? If I put a 91 steal, have it on Hall of Fame, will I still get more interceptions? Those are the questions. And that's what I'm going to test. Right? So hope y'all enjoyed it. Catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed.